Barrell versus Bardstown week 4. We have 9 Barrell products. We have 9 Bardstown products. We're putting them together head to head in a 9-week competition to find out who is the king of the blend. We got a tight race going into week 4. It is 5 Barrell, 4 Bardstown. My vote counts for 1, and we have 2 other votes from our patrons in this envelope right here. As you know, we like to pour these up blind, so let's pour these up, let's spin these up, and let's find out who is the king of the blend. Cheers, y'all. If you're interested in this product right here, this is the solo blind. Check out Chris at Whiskey Noobs. I'm going to tell you about both of these bottles in just 1 second, but everybody knows before we get started, time for the traditional sip. Cheers, y'all. That is good. So if you don't know how this works, I obviously knew the matchups ahead of time, but my patrons did not. They knew which 9 bottles were involved. They didn't know which 2 were going up against each other. I put that together myself. I tried to make it as fair as possible when it comes to the bottles. I put finished stuff with other finished stuff. I put higher proof with higher proof and lower proof with lower proof. Today we have Barrell batch number 34. This has a 6-year age statement and it's coming in at 114.62 proof. Let's go over all of the different barrels that are put into this. This is called King of the Blends for a reason, because while this has a 6-year age statement, it is a blend of 6, 8, 10, and 15-year-old bourbons from Kentucky, Indiana, and Tennessee. Again, coming in at 114.62 proof. I forgot they didn't used to put all of the information on the bottle. I love that they do now, but for these older batches, you can still go online and find out everything you need to know. That is going up against our Discovery Series number 8 over here. This is a Kentucky 12-year at 78% corn, 10% rye, 12% malted barley, an Indiana 7-year at 45% corn, 51% rye, 4% malted barley, Ontario 12-year corn, 100%, and Indiana 6-year 95.5 rye. So I know what you're saying, Chris, that doesn't sound like a bourbon to me. It's not. It's a blended whiskey. This is King of the Blend, not King of the Bourbon blends. And of course, this bottle is coming in at 114.1 proof. So 114.62, 114.1. Again, I tried to keep it as fair as possible. Let's get into our other glass over here. Okay, if I had to guess, this is actually kind of crazy. I was expecting after this sip, which was very traditional bourbon flavors that I truly loved, for this to be completely different when you're throwing in Ontario whiskey and some other things like 95.5 rye and a 51% rye mash bill in this. This doesn't taste like crazy off profile. It's got a little bit of something funky, and that's what I think this is. There's a lot more spiciness on this one over here, but it still comes back with a weird, I don't want to call it like the Jack Daniel's banana note, but it kind of gives me, because the banana note from Jack Daniel's is more of like a Runts banana. This tastes more like actual banana, like cooked banana. For some reason, I can't do banana when it comes to like smoothies. I can do every other fruit in a smoothie, but the second you put even like half of a banana in the smoothie, for some reason, it just throws off the entire smoothie for me. And I feel like this has a little bit of something like that going on in here. I've been wrong on this before where I'm like, okay, this is supposed to taste different. So because this tastes different, it's got to be that Ontario whiskey. It's got to be something with a 95.5 rye. It's got to be different. But I'll be honest with you. I thought I'd be able to tell these apart immediately. This one's got a little, this is very traditional bourbon flavors for me, but it does have a little something on the tail end of this that might not be a bourbon. Yeah, I mean, that's got to be the bourbon. I'm not trying to figure out which one's which. I'm trying to figure out which one I like better. This is just straight up traditional, really good whiskey. That's what this one is for me. It's giving me all those vanillas, all of those caramels. It's not overdone with the oak. Gives you the sweetness, the spiciness, a little bit of rye spice in there. Again, I don't even know the mash bill on this. I can put it on the screen because, again, I can look it up online. But for me, this is just so damn good. But that's why King of the Blend can become crazy, because at the same time, this could be so damn good, and they could be doing it with all of the different mash bills that they have going on in here. Or I could just be right about this. This could be straight down the line, a really good bourbon, and that's what's going on over here. This is why I get a little bit freaked out when I do blinds. This technically has Tennessee whiskey in it, though. Does that still count as bourbon? You guys let me know. The hard thing about pouring into black blends, and more importantly drinking out of them, is you don't know how much is left. I'm damn near done this glass, which isn't a bad thing. I like both of these glasses a lot, and I'm really diving deep into which one I like better. I feel like this is one of those where any day of the week I could pick the other one. It just depends on my mood that night. And right now, I normally I would lean this way. I would say like 95% of the time, but I feel like right now I'm going to stick with the traditional bourbon route. But let's go through this one more time. I will say this, if that is the Bardstown over here, it's still really impressive for a blend that they can make it taste that good. given what's in this. 100% corn mash bill, 11-year-old Ontario. Like, who would have thought, who tasted that and said, yeah, let's add this to this batch 8 that we're gonna put out? You know what it's missing? It's missing 100% Ontario, 100% corn whiskey. Just like, how are they coming up with this stuff? And this is why I love King of the Blend, because I don't think people truly appreciate what it takes to put a blend together. I've been part of some competitions where you try to put blends together. I watch things like Blend-A-Geddon. I've gotten blends from other people that they put together that I thought were phenomenal. And these are just like regular people in the whiskey world that are doing content like myself. Then you think about these master blenders. People always want to talk about the master distillers. The master blenders have this thing about them. I don't know. I couldn't do it. I promise you, you couldn't either. Hundreds of thousands of barrels for some of these blends, and they've got to pick 7, 8, 9, 10 barrels to go into one of these blends and then make it good. Because if you mess it up, right, they're doing, I'm sure they're micro batching it, taking a little bit of each and being like, oh, that's missing this. But they got to remember, oh, what about barrel 33,862? That had this plum note that would really shine in this. Like, how are they doing that? It just boggles my mind. Listen, I think it's going to be this glass over here. I've got to stick with the traditional bourbon. I just don't know if that's the barrel. If I had to guess, I would say it's the barrel, but I'm going with this glass over here. 1 point to this glass, 2 points to whoever my patrons pick. Check me out on notpatreon.com right now, but I'm going to give you a little bit of information. We're going to go somewhere soon, and you guys are going to stick around for that. So make sure you check me out on Instagram, YouTube, click that like and subscribe button, wherever you happen to get your content. Make sure you follow me over there, because I've got an announcement coming up soon, but I think I finished this already, but there might be a drop left. After my first sip on this one, I did not think it was going to be this close. It definitely gave it its run for its money, but we got to stick with the traditional bourbon route. Let's find out what it was, and the answer is Barrel. This is number 34, which is obviously the batch we're drinking over here. Both of these drank, I would say, under their proof, which is actually pretty impressive, which means this is going to say number 8, which is obviously for batch number 8. This competition is just a lot of fun. That means we've got 1 more point for Barrel. Let's find out where the other 2 points are going to go. So as it stands right now, 6-4 Barrel, but we've got 2 more points right here. Whatever they wrote down, I still have to look up what letter I put that as, because again, they didn't know what they were drinking. And so far, up until this point, my patrons have picked the opposite bottle of me, and they've both agreed so far. So there's 2 more people in here. Let's find out what they picked. Number 4, my wife wrote this down, I don't know. Robert S. and Mike C. And they picked different bottles. Robert S. picked B, Mike C. picked A. Let's find out who gets 1 more point. Obviously, it's 1 more point to each of them, but let's see who picked what. So 4A was the Discovery 8, which means Mike C. picked the Disco 8, and 4B is Barrel 34, which means Robert S. picked barrel number 34 with me, which means in this competition, we've got 2 points for Barrel, 1 point for Bardstown. Listen, I'm finally glad that my patrons got a split here. We've got an A, we've got a B. This is the first time that they've split, and somebody's finally agreed with me in this competition. But listen, we've got 5 more weeks of this and a lot more points to go, so this is anybody's competition at this point. A lot of this is finished whiskey going forward, because I do have a lot of finished whiskey from both of these companies. But let me know in the comment section below, who do you have winning this? Is it Barrel? Is it Bardstown? Is it me, because I get to drink them all? Cheers, y'all. But listen, if you haven't already, click that like and subscribe button. I mentioned it before. Make sure you check me out on Instagram so you can follow along over there. We've got some big announcements coming. I appreciate everybody that's been a part of this competition and everybody that's tuned in so far. We'll check you guys out next week for week 5. I don't know who's going to win this. That was a bad throw.